In every nation, one leader stands as the most protected individual in the country. Presidential security details range from the formidable motorcade of North Korea's leader to Switzerland's president, who often uses public transport without any visible protection. When it comes to Africa, however, the situation is different. This is a continent that has seen over 200 coups since the 1950s, with at least 14 successful military takeovers in the past 10 years alone. This turbulent history means any African leader could be a potential target, which is precisely why many have developed some of the most robust security protocols in the world. The security for some presidents is so extensive, observers might mistake their presence for a military operation, with entire battalions accompanying them on a simple downtown walk. Imagine one African president followed by a massive contingent of soldiers during a casual cycling event. Others go to extremes, bringing entire streets to a complete halt for their motorcades, even for a routine shopping trip. In this video, we'll reveal the top 10 most heavily guarded African presidents this year. The top 3 have some of the most bizarre security measures ever witnessed, ranking them among the most protected leaders globally with sophisticated layers of security. Take a look here. This is a Russian mercenary from the Wagner group standing next to a Rwandan soldier. Both patrolled during Touadéra's 2020 campaign, mixed with his country's own special forces. It's insane. He's the only president globally protected by a coalition of 3 different nations' forces. This is President Faustin Archange Touadéra of the Central African Republic, kicking off our list at number 10. His government controls the capital Bangui, but the rest of the country remains a chaotic patchwork of rebel territories. With a relatively weak national army, President Touadéra has developed unique security arrangements. He has his own presidential guard, largely from his ethnic group. The real muscle, though, comes from foreign powers. Since 2018, hundreds of Russian mercenaries, now known as the Africa Corps, have served as his de facto personal bodyguards. They guard the presidential palace and travel in his convoys. These Russians also train Central African Republic soldiers. However, Wagner members are notoriously ruthless and profit-oriented, as many Western media outlets frequently report. Despite the controversy, these mercenaries have successfully defended President Touadéra for years. The Guardian once reported, and I quote, "Things are clearer these days, observers say. Wagner handles the president's personal security and is in charge of military operations in areas where rebels are active. Rwandan troops train special forces and operate in relatively calmer areas, the capital, Bangui. Russia and Touadéra are now discussing how to fully integrate the Africa Corps as his absolute de facto presidential escort by 2026. For Rwanda, their role is different. They have over 3,000 soldiers in the Central African Republic. Some were deployed in 2014 for a UN mission, with another 1,000 in 2020 specifically to counter threats from rebel groups. Their missions focus on counterinsurgency, including providing personal protection for President Faustin Archange Touadéra, as President Paul Kagame himself explains here.
Additional force we sent there under a different arrangement is simply to make sure that we can contain any situation disrupting the elections. So this force would really deal with the matter.
Training Central African Armed Forces recruits. This was notably demonstrated in 2023 when 600 soldiers were trained by Rwandan Special Forces, known for their discipline and efficiency. Look at this incredible shot from an Independence Day parade. Central African Republic troops, Rwandan soldiers, and Russian mercenaries all standing together, a triple-layered shield protecting one man. This bizarre arrangement came into sharp focus in 2021 when Touadéra's own presidential guard opened fire without any prior warning on unarmed UN peacekeepers, injuring 10. The incident showed the unreliability of his local forces and why he entrusted his life to paid foreign guns. It's almost unheard of, a head of state guarded by 2 foreign armies at once. But in the Central African Republic's civil war chaos, it's deemed absolutely necessary. At number 9, we have the leader of Africa's most populous nation, President Bola Tinubu of Nigeria. As president of over 200 million people, a country devastated by Boko Haram and widespread kidnappings, high-level security is an absolute necessity. Tinubu, a former activist forced into exile under military rule, knows what it feels like to be a target. As president, he takes zero chances. What stands out about his security is a fascinating contradiction. Tinubu projects an anti-extravagance image. In October 2024, his administration famously capped ministers' motorcades at 3 vehicles to cut costs. Yet, that rule doesn't seem to apply to the president himself. When Tinubu moves, he travels in a fortress on wheels. His official protection includes the State Security Service and the elite Presidential Guards Brigade. His motorcade truly reveals the scale of his security. After his inauguration, his convoy returning to Lagos was a jaw-dropping spectacle. Reports counted over 100 vehicles, a sea of armored black SUVs, motorcycle outriders, armed police, communications teams, an ambulance, and crack special forces officers. This massive display caused public outcry, with critics slamming it as hypocritical. Yet, in a country facing Nigeria's threats, Tinubu's security is more than just a show. It's a statement of overwhelming presence, a necessary shield for West Africa's giant. At number 8, we have Kenyan President William Ruto. His protection comes from some of the most elite forces on the continent. Kenya's president travels like a global VIP even at home. Domestically, he relies on the crack Presidential Escort Unit, Kenya's top-tier counter-assault force, and dozens of plainclothes Secret Service agents. But his convoy truly makes a statement. During his travels, Ruto usually glides in a Lexus LX600, almost his official badge. Sometimes you'll see him in a highly customized, armored Toyota Land Cruiser 300 series, like in this clip. Several motorcycle outriders lead, followed by his car, and then tens of other armored vehicles. This armored Land Cruiser weighs a massive 2.7 tons, is off-road capable with a 4.5-liter 8-cylinder engine. It boasts a run guard system on its wheels, allowing the vehicle to move even when punctured. His elite bodyguards are everywhere. Look here. These men in black suits and ties walking alongside crowds are not ordinary people. They are his real most important escorts, surrounding him everywhere to prevent incidents, as happened to Francis Macron. And Ruto's security extends further. Snipers are positioned on top of surrounding tall buildings, ready to provide cover when needed. When he moves, standing in a car at a rally, his head exposed, it's very risky for any president. In such cases, Ruto deploys secret intelligence agents for a deep survey and surveillance of the entire area, sometimes weeks before the visit. During the official visit, these agents use sophisticated communication systems to detect bad actors, jamming signals from special devices, and detecting arms. This is possible thanks to Ruto's proprietary security team and Kenya's advanced National Intelligence Agency, among the best on the continent. Yet, even with this extraordinary protection, the perimeter can be breached. In early 2025, during a public event, someone threw a shoe at President Ruto, hitting his hand, a shocking lapse. A far more chilling incident occurred months later. Look at this scene outside the State House, his official office. A 56-year-old man disguised as a street dweller approached Gate D, concealing a bow and arrows. He allegedly hid behind a flower bed before fatally shooting Police Constable Ramadan Matanka in the chest after being ordered to surrender. The officer later died. The suspect, Kituka Kimunyi, claimed to have been sent by Satan. President Ruto was inside the State House, unharmed. This attack was a brutal reminder of constant, unpredictable threats sending shockwaves through Kenya's security establishment. Such incidents, coupled with threats driven by issues like the rising cost of living, prove that even with the world's best trained guards, danger can appear unexpectedly. These events have only led to even more robust security protocols for President Ruto. Before we continue, a quick reminder. Our team at Arisen now puts immense effort into making these deep dive videos. When you like and subscribe, you're not just clicking, you're casting a vote. You're telling us you want more high quality content like this, and it directly helps our team create it. It takes 1 second and it makes all the difference. Thanks for your support. Now back to the countdown. At number 7, we have President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa. Ramaphosa isn't a military man, he's a former anti-apartheid activist leading the continent's economic powerhouse. You might expect his security to be professional, but what you get is surprisingly heavy. On the ground, Ramaphosa's motorcades are mini-military operations. Dozens of roads are closed, reconnaissance drones fly overhead, motorcycle escorts lead the way, and armed counter-snipers are routine. The South African Presidential Protection Unit, an elite force from police SWAT and military commandos, forms a constant ring of protection. What truly sets his convoy apart, making it one of the few on the continent with this feature, is what's happening above. Whenever Ramaphosa moves through Cape Town or Pretoria, this is a common sight, a police helicopter hovering and buzzing, tracking his every move like it did during his State of the Nation address on February 8, 2024. It's a clear sign of industrial-level security. This security extends to the skies. Ramaphosa is one of the few African presidents with a dedicated, customized presidential jet, Inkwazi. This isn't just a plane, it's a mobile command center and fortress. While many features are classified, we know it's equipped with sophisticated defensive countermeasures, missile detection, flares to decoy heat seekers, and chaff to jam radar. It has hardened encrypted communication with satellite links, letting him securely run the country from anywhere, and its electronics are even shielded against an EMP blast. With a reinforced airframe and air-to-air refueling, the Inkwazi can stay airborne indefinitely during a crisis. Yet, this incredible security has faced scandal and international incidents. In 2023, his protection made global headlines. Ramaphosa was on a peace mission to Ukraine and Russia. When his plane landed in Warsaw, Poland, things went horribly wrong. Polish authorities refused to let his security detail, around 120 guards, off the plane, citing permit issues for their weapons. For over 24 hours, his entire protection team was stranded. Ramaphosa had to continue to his high-stakes meeting with Vladimir Putin without his primary security. His head of security was furious, publicly accusing the Polish government of racism and putting the South African president's life in jeopardy. Back home, his security was at the heart of the infamous Farmgate scandal, where millions of dollars in cash were stolen from his private game farm, a robbery allegedly covered up by his own protection unit. These incidents, combined with South Africa's history of political violence, explain why this quiet leader is protected by one of the continent's most vigilant and technologically advanced security details. At number 6, we have a leader whose security is nothing short of legendary. For over 38 years, Yoweri Museveni has ruled Uganda. The old guerrilla boss treats the presidency like a battlefield. He frequently appears in full military fatigues, even at civilian events like in 2020 when he flagged off a 195-kilometer Africa Kwetu walk dressed in combat gear. His personal protection isn't just a detail, it's an army within an army. What began as a small platoon during the Bush War has since ballooned into the Special Forces Command, SFC, a force estimated at over 10,000 strong. This elite unit, once commanded by his son, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, is responsible for everything from counter-terrorism to protecting the president himself. Museveni's movements are a full-blown military operation. He doesn't just walk, he marches with battalions. Look here, where Museveni is seen in public. He is surrounded by a literal sea of soldiers, a moving fortress of manpower, often strolling with platoons of riflemen. Look here, my friend, it's like they're waging war due to the intense number of military vehicles and commandos. Even helicopter gunships have been spotted during his presidential videos. He's a hands-on commander-in-chief and his personal involvement is extreme. Take a look at this incredible footage. Here is President Museveni in person teaching his own bodyguards how to properly handle their firearms. It's a rare sight, showing a leader who trusts his own military expertise above all else. This vigilance isn't just for show. In 2018, after a wave of assassinations, he deployed thousands of auxiliary special forces in Kampala. When opposition star Bobi Wine's campaign stoned Museveni's convoy in 2018, Wine was promptly charged with treason, a stark reminder that even pelted stones lead to maximum protection. Today, Kampala's streets often stay locked down around him. After his contested 2021 election, Reuters noted the capital was eerily quiet as soldiers and police remained on the streets in large numbers, keeping everyone away from his entourage. In short, Museveni travels with half an army. With an educated army and a powerful, loyal special command, Museveni ensures his security is strong and, in his own words, will remain stable. At number 5, we find Alassane Ouattara of the Ivory Coast, a former economist who now runs a heavily fortified camp. His presidency was forged in the fires of civil war, and that history shapes everything. After the 2010 election, the incumbent president refused to concede, plunging the nation into a brutal conflict that killed 3,000 people. Ouattara, the recognized winner, only took power after his forces, aided by the UN and France, captured the presidential palace. He literally fought his way into office, and his security is designed to ensure history never repeats itself. He has survived multiple coup plots, including one by an ex-rebel leader as recently as 2019, so he takes no chances. On the ground, Ouattara's security unit, the Groupement de Sécurité du Président, is a standing army. He travels surrounded by armored Humvees, roadblocks, and a phalanx of helmeted commandos, backed by police snipers. But what truly elevates his protection combines brute force with high-tech surveillance. Many details are classified, but reports describe his presidential motorcades shadowed by drone UAVs. These drones broadcast real-time video to an underground command center, meaning all his movements are monitored by high-tech eyes in the sky. This iron fist becomes most visible during elections, consistently fraught with tension and violence. At number 4, we have the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame. The security fortress around him is one of Africa's most sophisticated, and it's also a deeply personal affair. At its core is the Republican Guard, a famously disciplined and battle-hardened unit of the Rwanda Defense Force. You won't see ceremonial red uniforms here. These are real troops, and their professionalism is renowned. When President Kagame travels, he moves within a shield of heavily armored black SUVs, flanked by motorcycle outriders. His fleet is absolutely state-of-the-art. Reports indicate it includes beasts like the armored Range Rover Sentinel and the Mercedes-Benz S680 Guard. These aren't just bulletproof cars, they are mobile fortresses engineered to withstand extreme attacks. They can survive armor-piercing bullets, grenade blasts, and even IEDs. With run-flat tires, they can escape an ambush even after the tires are shot out. It's a convoy built for a worst-case scenario. What makes Kagame's protection truly unique, though, is its literal family affair. He is the only president on our list whose security detail officially includes his own sons. Ian Kagame, a Sandhurst graduate, is an officer in the elite Republican Guard. His younger son, Brian Kagame, also graduated from Sandhurst and joined the Rwanda Defense Force. This places his own bloodline at the heart of his protection, creating an unparalleled layer of loyalty and trust. This intense security focus was forged by Rwanda's history, born from the horrors of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. The entire security apparatus is built on vigilance, ensuring the nation's stability is never again compromised. It's a philosophy built on discipline, loyalty, and making certain that history will never repeat itself. And now, we've reached our top 3. We've seen some truly intense security so far. What do you think? Is it a necessary precaution or an excessive display of power? Drop your opinion in the comments below, because I promise you, whatever you think is extreme is nothing compared to what's coming next. The final three are on a completely different level. Welcome to the top three, where presidential security moves beyond elite forces and enters the realm of the truly bizarre. At number 3 is Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, leader of arguably the world's most terror-devastated country today. This fact alone places an immense target on his back. At just 37, he's the world's youngest head of state, a junior officer who seized power in a nation torn apart by jihadists. He survived 19 known assassination attempts in less than 3 years, a plot to kill him nearly once every single month. Once in power, he showed a total distrust of normal security protocols. Forget a sleek armored sedan. Traoré's signature vehicle is an armored personnel carrier, or APC. In his first public appearance, he stood in the turret like a battlefield commander, not a politician. He and his coup comrades, his personal bodyguards, always wear heavy, intense military fatigues, even during international meetings. Some of these fatigues act as hidden anti-bullet protection. His security is structured in unbelievable layers. The first is himself. Traoré is a formidable warrior who once led the Cobra Special Forces, one of the army's elite units. He knows precisely what security he needs. His personal bodyguards are the loyal young lieutenants who helped him take power. These men have shown such insane loyalty that some were bribed to kill him but rejected the money and instead handed it over to Traoré. They are now also trained by Russian forces from the Afrika Korps, formerly the notorious Wagner Group. But the layers run deeper. Inside the presidential palace is a secret third layer, an ultra-elite unit operating completely in the shadows, tasked exclusively with protecting the president. It's reportedly led by his own brother Inoussa Traoré, his most trusted circle. This is also backed by his incredibly effective intelligence agency. In April 2025 alone, his intelligence services thwarted a major coordinated attack, including plans to disrupt the financial system thanks to deep surveillance and communication. Yet, the most surreal and unbelievable part of his protection isn't the soldiers, the mercenaries, or even his brother's secret unit. It's the people. Look at this scene.
I heard that you all sleep on the streets just to protect your president. Is it true?
Every single night, ordinary, completely unarmed citizens gather outside the presidential palace.
That's kind of motivate the president. This is why they decided to go out and to be like, oh, if something happened in the country, they have to be alerted so they can react immediately in order to protect the president.
Every night to act as a human shield. They say if assassins come, they will use their mouths to cry out and alert the real soldiers. It's an unprecedented display of civilian devotion, a volunteer human fortress built on pure loyalty to a leader they see as their revolutionary hero.
That is my president.
I stand firmly with Ibrahim Traoré. If they dare touch Ibrahim Traoré, they will regret.
Ibrahim Traoré is good.
Ibrahim Traoré is good.
Good.
Very good.
Very good.
If you want to dive even deeper and discover all 7 layers protecting Captain Ibrahim Traoré, watch our recent video on the topic right here. You'll be amazed at the tactics this man uses to stay alive. At number 2, we have a leader who projects power in one of the most bizarre ways imaginable. Forget parades of weapons, think parades of baby oil. That's right. While most leaders display their military might with advanced weaponry, Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi does this. He had his elite commandos strip down, get oiled up, and strike a pose in a military parade that looks more like a bodybuilding competition. But don't let the bizarre spectacle fool you. Underneath all that gloss are some of the continent's most disciplined soldiers ready to protect their leader at a moment's notice. As leader of Africa's #1 military powerhouse and a figure who regularly hosts world leaders like Donald Trump, el-Sisi's security is automatically elevated to a global standard. His power projects most clearly in the sky. As of May 2025, el-Sisi commands the most expensive presidential jet in Africa, a newly refurbished Boeing 747-8 valued at a staggering $500 million. This isn't just an aircraft, it's a flying fortress. It's equipped with military-grade security, including advanced radar jamming, DIRCM laser systems to blind incoming missiles, and hardened EMP-proof communications. When this plane is in the air, jet fighters often escort it. On the ground, his presence is just as overwhelming. In one infamous display, El-Sisi had a 4-kilometer red carpet rolled out for his motorcade. His convoys consist of armored Mercedes G-wagons with roof-mounted machine guns, while Special Forces troopers flank him on foot and snipers watch from rooftops. El-Sisi's ultimate fortress is a massive, countrywide intelligence state. Sisi's security is a system of total control, designed to ensure a fight against him can never even begin. And now, for number 1. We have a president who doesn't have a security detail. He is the security detail himself. Meet General Mamadi Doumbouya of Guinea. He serves not just as the nation's leader, but as the active commander of its special forces. How many presidents do you see rolling around with this kind of firepower? Just look at this. Doumbouya and his entire squad are constantly decked out in full combat gear. We're talking tactical vests, AKS, and even rocket launchers, just on standby. To the untrained eye, you'd think they were heading into a war zone, not a presidential speech. Here's the ultimate twist of irony. Doumbouya, a battle-hardened former French foreign legionnaire with 15 years of operational experience, was hand-picked by former President Alpha Condé to lead this very elite special forces group. The specific purpose? To prevent a coup. Instead, in 2021, Doumbouya used that exact unit to overthrow the man who appointed him. For him, security is offense. His public appearances are military operations. Even a casual bike ride through town looks like this, with a full military convoy trailing him. When your personal protection is the same elite commando unit you used to seize power, you're not just a protected leader, you are a walking, talking declaration of military force. This undoubtedly makes Mamadi Doumbouya the most heavily guarded president in Africa. If you're intrigued to know how much one of the presidents we just listed is worth, or the wealth of your own country's president, click to watch this video popping on your screen right now. It's as fascinating as you'd expect here on Arisen Now.